Hi everyone, I'm Chris Brindamore. I'm here with a bunch of fellow, I want to call them students, but they're almost like family members, I would say, of Brian Ridgway's Conscious Creators Program. We are by no means professional speakers, actors. We're just here to share our experiences with you and what we've experienced with his program, and we would strongly encourage you to get involved with this program. So I'm going to bring on some of the fellow classmates, family members, and let them share what their experience has been with this program. We've been involved for about 3 months now, and we're coming close to the end of this program. So I personally have seen a lot of transformations with my fellow friends in this class, and it's been phenomenal. Not only myself, but just watching the change that's happened in people. And I think you're going to hear it when you hear people talk, and you're going to see it. So just pay close attention. I'm going to encourage everybody watching right now to turn off any distractions you may have. Turn your cell phone off, turn Facebook off, Skype, turn all that off, and have total presence in what the people here are going to say. I'm going to guarantee you there's going to be at least one person here who's going to say something that's going to resonate with you. So you don't know who that's going to be, so I encourage you to listen carefully to everybody speaking. All right, let's see. Who wants to start first? Andrea, since you were the first one in the room, I'm going to let you talk first, okay? So go ahead and unmute.
Okay, here we go. Can you hear me? Okay, good. I'm Andrea Cass. I live in Sarasota, Florida. And I met Brian at the Hush Hush seminar event workshop. I saw him live on stage. I was immediately touched by his presentation because things that he mentioned already right then and there from the beginning resonated with me. There were issues that he touched upon while he was on stage talking to about 500-600 people, I believe it was a large group, that I knew within myself had an issue with. And so I listened closely to everything that he had to say. Then I also joined his more private workshop that he had of maybe I would say 10 people in attendance. They were breakout sessions that we were able to attend, during which session I also met Roya, who's on the Hangout today, and who's been a very adamant participant. I have not always been able to make the live Hangouts, but I've either been on YouTube or I've watched afterwards. So I've been to every single one, and I love what it's done for me, the entire program, and I'm glad I joined. What really profoundly touched me during the breakout workshop sessions was that Roya was asked to come and sit with him in the front, and he was working with her one-on-one personally on an issue that she was experiencing at the time. And the change within her, he calls this a spell break. So it's just something that's been with us or within us, or an issue that we've been dealing with for a long time, something that can be very intense, it can be blocking us, and he took her to the side. He recognized this within her. He took her to the side, he brought her up front, and he worked with her and performed a spell break. And that to me that left a lasting impression. It was a profound experience for me watching this, because I could see the change in her. Her whole countenance, her whole the light on her face, her expressions afterwards had completely changed. And I thought, wow, this is truly amazing. And as I'm a very intuitive person to begin with. I've lived my life through magic and miracles. I'm on the path that of self-improvement, being the best version of ourselves to begin with. And Brian's program and what Brian has to offer still benefited me, even though I've been through the courses, the self-improvement. I've basically attacked whatever I felt was limiting me from all kinds of angles. And this program and his way of going about helping us has touched me profoundly and has helped me profoundly. And I've watched people being helped through this program extensively. Another thing I want to mention is that this is not something that where anybody or we are being asked to study, to sit down and read books or read anything and do this whole mental game that a lot of times is involved in getting ahead in life and in self-improvement. But the information, as long as you're present and as long as you're allowing the information and the energies that are coming through in these sessions to work on you, they will do their job. It's like getting a deep tissue massage and feeling the effects for days to come. It's like having a cup of green tea or coffee, and all you have to do is drink the coffee and you will feel it working from the inside out. And that's really how I can best explain being part of this program. All that's required for us is to be present and allow the energies that are coming through Brian and his techniques to work on us. And the techniques that we've learned are very simple techniques. Anybody who, if I mention some of them right now, somebody may say, oh yeah, well that's way too simple. Well, it is simple, and sometimes it is the most simple things in life that are the most profound and effective. And that's what this program has done for me, has done for us on this Hangout, and can do for anybody. It's a magical, miraculous experience. What was I working on as I decided to join this, and where am I at right now? Let me go a little bit into that. So I'm sitting at the Hush event, at the seminar, in the audience. I see all this transformation going on right before my eyes, and I go, I want to be part of this. I do. I love the energy. It was an uplifting, happy feeling. And I thought, you know, there were some issues that I was working on at the time, and I thought I really want to clean out the edges of my consciousness and clean out any blind spots that I may have, things that I don't realize, things that are not even known to me right now. What is it that I can address to help me be a better version of myself? And that is exactly the result that I'm having today. Over the course of all these weeks, almost 3 months now, or maybe a little bit more than 3 months, it's done exactly that for me. I have received what I asked for. I've had a few major breakthroughs to where I go, oh my God, I can't believe that. Realizations where I thought, wow, wow, just wow. I've had little breakthroughs to where I realized a few things that were all of a sudden I began putting 2 and 2 together in my life, and I've benefited from that. I've also felt a culling going on. It's sort of like if I were a shoe, if I were made out of clay, somebody was taking a chisel and just fine-tuning my shape. And I feel that the shape underneath all this that's being chiseled away is my real self. So what else? There was another point I meant to make with all this. I just feel I'm more of myself. I'm stepping more into the life that I really want to lead. There were some relationships, that's what I was thinking of just now, that have fallen by the way. Not that I've done anything to my knowledge to encourage that, but they've fallen away. And why have they fallen away? Because afterwards I realized they weren't really in my best interest any longer. New relationships have come into my life that are beneficial and that are supporting my highest vision of myself. How is this all possible? I believe that me participating in the program, learning the tools that we are being taught, and just being present and allowing the information to be absorbed by me has created the difference. Like I said, I feel like I'm a clay figure that or if you want to call it that, if I were 20 pounds overweight, I feel like I lost the 20 pounds. You see, so I feel happier. I'm more content. I've had breakthroughs with fear issues that have kept me from moving forward in my professional life. I have more peace in my life. And I can wholeheartedly recommend this to anybody. You will, if you're worried about money, finances, can I afford this? I don't think anybody can afford not to participate. That's just my opinion. Let it work on you, let it percolate. You also have the sessions available to you at any time, so you can revisit them. You have all the time in the world to go back and re-watch them to get more information out of them for yourself, for us, and allow for the information that's being shared to work on you, on us, on everybody. And that's basically my experience. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Andrea. All right, I'm just going to kind of go in order then. Bobby, you're next in order here. You there? Are you there right now?
Yeah.
All right, you got the floor, Bobby.
All right. Well, one of the things that motivated me to join the program with Brian was really dealing with just kind of an overall dissatisfaction with life and relationships, and particular money, of course. It was probably the better part of 10 years. I was dealing with these issues pretty much my whole adult life. I was never really happy, or if I was, it never really lasted. I was always distracting myself from facing the real issues because of the fear. And I brought that person into my relationships, my jobs. Pretty much tried everything, tried books, seminars, webinars, ebooks, courses. All gave me the same results, just that temporary satisfaction. One of the things that led me to Brian was I met him through a different program, and after listening to him in the first couple weeks in that program, I was really kind of inclined to learn more. So I joined his first program, and the Conscious Creators program was pretty much the most transformational program I ever joined. For anybody ready to make that change in their life, that is. Brian's one of the most transparent mentors I've ever seen. He's taken his numerous experiences and then modeled how he's handled them to all of us, as well as the other groups that he's done the same thing with. He's really, truly one of those people that practice what he preaches. Some of the things that I really appreciate about Brian, besides his transparency and his honesty, is he's really passionate, and he has this ability to get to the core of people's life's issues in literally one session. Some of my biggest gains from dealing with him throughout the last year, a lot of things have changed in my life, experiences have happened, but through it all, I've learned how to choose how to be happy. As silly as it sounds, we often live life on autopilot, searching for things that make us happy, when all along it's us that chooses. Emotional mastery is something I had no clue that existed a short time ago, but now I'm able to choose my response instead of reacting to how I think I should. You always have two choices. You can either focus on what you want to experience, or you can fall into thought. Lastly, I've witnessed hundreds of people join this program, and none of them will ever be the same again. Even after one session, what you will learn will continue to work with magic as long as you continue to breathe and smile. If I could share a way to experience love, joy, and peace every single day, would that interest you? That's exactly what this is.
Thank you, Bobby. Great stuff. Hugh, you're up. You ready?
Okay. I first met Brian Ridgway in California earlier this year at a Hush Hush event, and this guy appeared on stage, and I could still remember seeing this donkey, showing a picture of this donkey, and it was so humorous. And then he said, you know, it really wasn't funny, but he impressed me with what he had to say, and remarkable his life story, or part of it anyway. Truthfully, I could not relate to that, but I could well understand it. But at the time, I was dealing with the issue of doubt. Now, I'm a pretty positive person. I'm born without the word impossible in my vocabulary. But when you come under attack from certain situations in life as you grow into adulthood, we soon start doubting or questioning ourselves or the results that we expected. And I think that was getting to me, even though I studied, I read, everything else. But that was at that time in my life, it was a real challenge, and I had up until that time some challenges that I believe I felt overwhelmed by it. So when I attended the Hush Hush event and I listened to him, I thought, I want to hear more from this guy. So I attended the breakout session the following day. And man, oh man, I got hit by a dump truck or something, because there was something that he said. Please don't ask me what it is. All I knew, I was sitting there, and you imagine I'm in a room with total strangers. I'm a big guy, and I'm crying. I'm saying, what is going on? And, you know, people are looking around, you know, well, I don't know, they're looking around, but I was just sobbing there. So he saw that and said, hey, you know what, username, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, I give him my name. He said, come on up. I stood there, and the first thing he said, he says, you know what? He said, he gave the illustration of a spatula, how to flip it like flipping pancakes. And the very next thing he said, things happen for me. He said, can you say things happen for me and really say it? I did. And, you know, I was in front there, and I mean, there were moments of silence on my part, and you know what? I didn't know it, but there were other people. I mean, I was so focused on what he was saying, which wasn't a lot, but he was asking me the questions. There were other people in that room that were crying because they were identifying, even though I hadn't said much of his story, but the fact is that they were identifying. And Brian just worked with me, I don't know whether it was like 5 minutes or something like that, but things happened for me. And I went back to my seat, and I continued to claim that and to believe that and to think on that and accept it. And so I would say up until that moment, my life that was being overwhelmed. And I think that was the starting point, because when I stepped out of that room, I had to make a decision, did I want to take this course? And of course, I wanted to have victory in my life. So guess what? I signed up for the course. And while I was standing outside, a number of people came to me and said, you know what, we appreciated that what you experienced in that session and how touched they were. And in our training, I noticed a few of them joined in the session. And so I give Brian credit for that. As we started to attend the sessions, I found that I was able to apply the very practical methods that he was teaching, and that got me to the point where, hey, you know what, doubt, I don't know, it's lost somewhere in the river back there. And I'm on fire today. Things are happening. I am really excited about my life. I continue to read. I continue to dovetail my other readings and studies with Brian's instructions and find it helpful. So I really encourage people, what you have and what you attach with what Brian is instructing in a very practical way can make a big difference in your life. It certainly has in mine. I'm thankful for, hey, listen, I faced some situations I thought, no money, these challenges, and yet today I am just totally relaxed, totally confident. I've got my mojo back, and I'm feeling good about it, really good about it. Things are happening. Listen, in last week alone, I had people joining my business, money in the back office, and you know, that's a good example, because one of the things, a lot of us came to the session having money problems. There's no doubt about that in their business. We wanted our business to grow. Well, guess what? It's happening. It's happening. I believe that every day. There's no doubt. I'm sitting here this afternoon totally without doubt, without fear. It's happening. I was saying a little earlier some other things that are unfolding that is just awesome. So I would say to anybody, I can talk here all day, but you've got to take action. I took action, and I discovered what I really wanted happening for me. So I would encourage you to jump on the course. You got an opportunity to jump on this course and get some instruction from Brian. That's a good thing. Yes, it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hugh. That was great stuff. I hadn't heard that story before. All right, Regina. Regina, you're up.
There we go.
All right.
You meant me, right? Not Roya? You meant me, correct? Can you hear me okay? Okay, I'll just keep going. You know, as I'm listening to these stories, I'm thinking to myself, wow, because what people are seeing here is just a small representation of the many lives that have been touched by Brian in this program. And, you know, what I was dealing with that brought me here was I just felt stuck. And like you mentioned, I was really, I really wanted to figure out how to make money in my business. And I just felt like something was in the way, and I couldn't identify it. And I actually was introduced to Brian and his Level 5 program. And I've been involved with Brian and what he's doing for about a year now, actually a little bit over a year, maybe last June or July. And I think about the changes, and it's almost like I can't put it into words. And I think probably, as people are talking here, one of the things that came up for me was that you know, I really saw myself then as going through life thinking. I just thought my way through life. And now if you were to ask me, I feel my way through life. And it's just that instead of letting my thoughts control my life, I've learned how to consciously create it by feeling it and just being more in touch. And I think Andrea said it is just really getting to know me, really getting back in touch with the core, you know, the real self. So a big word I would use to describe what's happened for me is awakening. And you know, the big thing that I really have seen here is not only my business growing and changing, but I've seen myself. And one of the things that I love most about what Brian does is that, and some of us who've been on these Hangouts know, you don't want him to call on you because it's going to kind of, I don't want to say force you, but you know you're going to have to really bring to the forefront what's going on. And there have been many times when I resisted, but Brian has this ability, this knack, to identify what's going on with people, to bring it to the forefront in a gentle way, and sometimes right in your face way, but he brings the things up, and you end up working through things. And for me, it's been stuff that I didn't even know existed. I mean, I could have never identified what was happening. But as I was working with Brian, it's, you know, just paradigms and thinking, and maybe my parents' thinking, and just society's thinking, and just lots of different things that I didn't realize I was doing on automatic pilot. really became clear for me. And in being able to better, to better decide how I'm thinking, I'm better able to create the life I want to live. And this was huge because I've done all kinds of courses, all the popular personal development. I've been a student of personal development for years, done the Walking on Fire and the Eating Fire and books and affirmations and affirmations and all kinds of stuff. And for the first time, being part of the Conscious Creator Program has really allowed me to get to the core of what's going on and to identify it. And one of the big things that I've loved most about this program is even after we've had a session, whatever has happened for me, whatever movement is happening, continues to happen for days and weeks. I mean, days will pass and something will just kind of come back up as if it's something that's just constantly churning or constantly showing itself or layers being peeled away. So it doesn't even have to be just on the session. It can be days and weeks and hours afterwards, and I'd even say maybe months, because I've been involved for quite some time now, where things will just peel back and I'll have what I call like an aha moment. I'll just be like, wow, okay, things get clearer. And when I first was introduced to Brian, there were some things about him that I was like, wow, this guy is out there. But I really felt the love and the true desire to help people, how they can consciously create the life they desire. And for me, that was initially what I thought was making more money in my business. But what I came to find out is as that's developed, my life has changed. In just learning how to deal with the passing of a parent and dealing with my child and dealing with other people and identifying my feelings and just all kinds of stuff. I mean, I could go on probably for hours here talking about some of the impact this has had for me. But I just would say that if you are maybe in a position where you're feeling kind of stuck and you kind of innately or intuitively know something's in the way of what you want to achieve, but you're not sure how to get past it, then I would say take a look at this program, because there are so many stories of people that have had breakthroughs in all areas. For me, I thought it was I just need to make more money, but it has been a tremendous breakthrough, and just I think probably the most priceless thing for me is to actually remember and get in touch with who I am and to be uniquely and completely me, and then to shine that light and be good with that, and to really just be connected with my soul, with my spirit. And so I encourage you that no matter what area you're in, if you're wondering how to get past something and you can't even identify it, then I think that this is the program for you, because you're gonna be able to see and feel it, and it's almost miraculous what Brian can do. The spell breaker is just so perfect for him, because he just has this way of getting to the core issues that you can get to the next level of where they want to be in their life, and it just keeps on going. So I hope that made sense, and that's my share on this. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Regina. That was awesome. I got a lot of parallels to what you just said. Before I bring Roya up, this is someone I think Roya has been on just about every session. I think one of the I don't know, what did Brian call you the other day? Diehards, or it was a name he had for the people. No matter, he changes the time every couple weeks, and Roya, I think, is somebody who manages to show up no matter what time the session is. But one thing I want to say before I bring Roya up, I think I was on the very first session, and Roya was on there, and I could see it in her face that there was something troubling her, something she was struggling with. You could just see it in her face. I mean, when you see somebody that's got something challenging in them, I could see it in her face. I wish I had a before picture I could put up, because if you look at her now, it's a total transformation, really, honestly. But I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to let Roya talk, and you're going to hear the passion coming out of her, and the transformation that I've witnessed through Roya has been unbelievable.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm glad to be able to be here to share this with you. There's a really good chance that I'll start crying in the middle of talking to you guys. Um, I went to the event that a lot of people on this Hangout went to, and honestly, that weekend that the event happened, there were other things going on, and there was, I almost didn't go. And there was something inside me that really, really wanted to make it. And I did go, and the event was pretty much about mostly business and how to do business things and things like that. And Brian happened to be the only person there who wasn't talking about the business part of things. He literally reached in as he was speaking to the audience of probably over 600 people. He reached into my heart, and he pretty much, like, he didn't obviously say these words, but this is how I felt. He said, "You're going to be okay." I actually have been, I've been to a lot of different sort of personal development, spiritual type of, education and seminars. I actually come from a really, really large family where there was always many, many challenges. In fact, the day of the seminar, after the seminar, we all met together in a corner of the back of the room, and I was listening to a group of people standing around each other. Actually, Brian was talking, and at some point I said, I don't even remember exactly what happened, but what I said was, I've had this just huge weight right in the middle of my chest for many years, and it keeps me from breathing. I can't breathe deep. And this had been there for a long time. And he immediately turned towards me. He literally, the way he turned towards me, it was almost like no one else existed on the face of the earth. I was the only person in his presence. And that moment, I understood what being present with another person was. Because that's what he was to me. He was completely present. He completely, like, whatever he did, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly what he did because I don't even remember. But he started asking me questions. He started telling me different things to do in order to literally, like, get rid of whatever I felt like it was in the middle of my chest, keeping me from breathing. And within probably 10, at the very most 15 minutes, that thing was not only gone, it never came back. What I've really understood from being here and being on these sessions is the fact that truly we're all miracles. We're miracles. We are born with the greatest powers. And unfortunately, because of the challenging ways, we go through our life, we lose all these powers. And, I'm sorry, we do not lose them. They get blocked from all the different things that happen to us in our lives. And what this has done for me is to make it really clear how to remove all these things that are blocking me from my true happiness, my true life. I guess I want to say my life. We all deserve to live happy lives. We all deserve to have what we want in our lives. We all deserve to have the best relationships in our lives. And my relationships are amazing now. I walk into any kind of relationship now, and all I get is 100% presence back with me. I've learned how to love myself, because that really truly is the thing that we forget to do, and is the most important thing in anyone's life. All I can say is what Brian Ridgway does is miracles every day. I would say if you have issues where it's keeping you from going forward in whatever you want to do, if you have blocks that, you don't know what they are, but you know that you can be in a better place. You can be doing bigger and better things. You could reach out and touch more people out there. If that is what you truly want in your being and you feel it, then the Conscious Creators with Brian Ridgway, the program, is something that you might want to really look at carefully and get into it. And you know something? Yes, it is not an inexpensive program, but what is your life worth to you? That's really the biggest question. I mean, I believe we are priceless. Our life is priceless. We are way past any amount of money as far as how much we're worth and how much our life is worth, and what it is we can go out there and do in our lives to change not only our lives but other people's lives. So really, I know there's been a few other people that's spoken about business and money, but I think personally, this is my personal opinion, before you get to business and money, you must get to the deepest roots of what is inside that needs to be healed and resolved. And then not only will you transform your life, but you will transform your money issues, because they all work together. You cannot do one thing well and another thing not well. Everything needs to work together. The only thing I can literally say about this program is, if you're not in it, what are you doing? Come on and join the program and get free, become free of all the blocks and all the weight on your shoulder and in your chest and anywhere else in your body. Get rid of it and get going with your life and live free of everything, and live happily and live with just conscious abundance of everything and anything you want. And that truly is what I've gotten out of this, and I truly, completely, 100% appreciate this program and all the really wonderful people who have been inside the program, who are just amazing people. And again, I want to thank you so much, Chris, for letting me share. I've been actually looking forward to sharing this, and I appreciate you.
Wow, that was awesome, Roy. I knew that you had something powerful to share. Oh, wow, that's going to be hard to follow. Erica, I saw you came in. I'm gonna leave you for last because I think you got something special to share too. Yurik, you still there with us? Before I bring Yurik up, Yurik, one of the great things about this group is we share a lot between sessions. We have a private group. We'll post things, and there's a lot of back and forth. There's some real. I mean, we encourage each other. I mean, it's been awesome. The encouragement, and just everybody accepts everybody for who they are. We've seen just about every type of situation that people have been through, and sometimes people may be a little embarrassed to talk about it, but we've seen it all, and we accept everybody. Matter of fact, when people come out like that, you realize you may have some parallels in your own life. But I'm sorry, I'm rambling here. Yurik posted something this week that was, I think, very profound, and I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let him talk about it. So, Yurik, you're up.
All right, guys, can you hear me okay? Great. Okay, so yeah, first I'm Yurik Tran. I'm from Germany, and yeah, I'm 20 years old, and I met Brian in LA at the Hush Hush event, and I saw him on stage there, and yeah, he showed the donkey picture a few times, and I was like, okay. So I think I was the only one who was actually quite skeptical, because I was, I continue with the story. So I got to the breakout sessions, and I saw him on stage, and he was performing a breakthrough with one guy there, and he was talking about things that I actually, I did some courses already. I read through many books. I got some awesome books here, and I know few stuff of what he's teaching. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure if you can help me, because I actually don't have any problems. So not really. I was at an advanced state, let's put it like this. So I was like, okay, I have enough money, I have a nice flat, a nice job, and so what do you need more? And I was really, really confident already. And he was, okay, you can try and you can see if it helps you. And I was still like, okay, it's still quite a few money. I'm not sure if I should do it, because I'm not sure if I get value out of it. And so I was, yeah, thinking, and for the first, not really, yeah, I started late. So yeah, I had a look for a few weeks, and yeah, I started a project then. So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing forex trading. I have now a company in the US. I used to have a full-time job. I'm starting university now. I have some other big projects that are coming up, and so money is not really the most valuable thing that I have. It's more the time. So I'm really choosing what to invest time in. And yeah, the Hangouts, they were at 3 a.m. most of the time here in Germany. So it was in the middle of the night. I had to work 4 hours later. And yeah, this was one thing I really invested time in. Every time I tried at least every time. So one time I fell asleep at the work then afterwards. But yeah, I was like skeptical and always thinking, okay, let's see. But every time I got on the Hangouts, it was, I was not every time learning something, but Brian is always putting me into this electrifying state where I really come out and I don't want to go to sleep. I don't want to go to bed anymore. I just keep working and do another project and do something, and afterwards I go to work, and at 2 p.m. I'm like, oh my God, I need to sleep now. And he's really, like, I had some major breakthroughs. So one thing that was the major reason I got into this project, into this the Conscious Creators program finally, was that I had one bigger project coming up, and I did the concept, I thought about it, and I had this mysterious feeling in the gut. So I thought it was bad, so it was really hard, and it was sitting there like a rock, and you couldn't help, and you just, what is it? You can't do the project without such a feeling. So I couldn't put my whole energy in it when I had such a feeling in my gut and holding me back. So yeah, I wrote Brian for advice, and he told me I should come to one of his sessions and just have a look. And that's what I did. And yeah, after that, I was on every session. I was in London once, so I couldn't join, but after that, I was in every session. And you know, as as it was mentioned, I shared some breakthroughs with the group already, and one of the breakthroughs was that the feeling that I had is now gone. So it's like I don't doubt anymore, I don't fear anymore, and so it's like limitless possibilities, and you can do whatever you want, and there's nothing that's holding you back, and there's nothing you can't do. And it's just, life is a miracle, life is a beautiful thing, and if you're missing on this program, you really waste your life. So I realized during this program that most of the people, you hear something, you read something, but it's not really clicking for you. So I had this many times. I knew the things that clicked for me, but Brian is really someone who comes in and he picks on the people who are really having troubles and who are having an issue right now, and he selects them and asks them, and after that you think about it, you have a sleep, have a nap, and it's really funny. After that, it's like you're feeling great and encouraged, and the feeling is now supporting me quite a bit. So it's really saying, all right, go ahead, do it, it's easy. And a second thing was that I don't want to put it like problems. It weren't problems, but I had some issues. Like I had a pain in the feet, and was like I stepped in a nail when I was a child. So yeah, it was kind of hurting sometimes, and yeah, Brian helped me with that. I don't step into it because I couldn't say all the things he taught me, but it really helped, and I don't really experience I don't have any. It's gone now, so I could let it go. And if you want to live a life which is like awesome, you can do what you want, and you don't have anything you can't do, you don't have anything to fear, you don't have no problems. So problem is not a word anymore for me, so it doesn't exist. Problems exist in your head, and so you can get rid of them. And yeah, I don't know what to say. If you don't get in here, it's just your fault. I mean, I recently read quite a good a Chinese billionaire, Jack Ma, I think, said, if you're not rich by 25, you deserve it. So I don't want to. It puts like a worse or bad light on the people who are poor. I don't want to put it like this. I would rather say, if you're poor with 35, you decided it. So yeah, I kind of agree with this one, because it's like you can do it, and it's never too late. Just go for it and get rid of your mind blocking. We only use 10% of our mind capacity, and let's turn it higher and higher, and let's really grow. And yeah, I love what Brian's doing, and I would go to his sessions my whole life if I could. And I have few people who I really call my mentors. because they all focused on this like market stuff and marketing and how to program people, and I don't really know, but I definitely call him a brother and a mentor, because he was really a guy I saw and I thought, all right, he's a cool guy, and I definitely want to get him to know him better. And yeah, that's what I would suggest to you too. So go ahead and at least write him, get to know him a bit, and you will see, and you will land in this program, I guess. So maybe see you later. So thank you.
Thanks, Ulrich. I was hoping you were going to touch on your revelation you made in the group the other day, but I guess you'll have to join and read it yourself. That's the only way you're going to find out. Erica, you with us?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Okay, good. So, most of you met Brian at Hush Hush. I'm one of the few who didn't, and I got like an affiliate link from an acquaintance of us, and he had something special, something like someone who could do spell breaks, and well, that sounded a little woo. So I was curious what it was about, and I clicked the link. I saw a video, and this video was the one the others referred to with the donkey, and it's really, really clear if you see it. It makes such a difference to see what's in front of you really by someone who puts it in front of you, instead of just looking at it and just don't really know what you're looking at. So this video is really clear about what stages there are in your life, and what keeps you stuck, because every time you go through the same stages and you land into these difficulties, it's easier to turn away and find a new way of approaching it than go through the barriers and end up by having a breakthrough. So most of us live life that way, not going through breakthroughs, but ending up hitting the wall, going left, turn around again, hit the wall, turn left, go around again. And so what Brian does really is he shows you that wall on a very clear way, and he provides you with a slash hammer to break that wall down, and you can go through. So so it's really a lot of things. I did a lot of things before I joined this program, and most of the stuff that was told is not actually new, but what is new is the way to approach and apply it, because most of the stuff that's out there is just stuff that's in your head. They give you something to chew on, to put it in your mind grabs it, and that's all it does. Because if you know what it is and you think about it, it doesn't actually change anything. Because when you start thinking about it and you think again and again and again and again, it gets you in another spinning round of thinking, but it doesn't break your wall. So you need to actually do something with it. But the way to actually apply to it, to do it in a good way, and most of all in an easy way, that's where Brian is really brilliant in. He has such easy techniques that you can use throughout the whole day, because you're doing things that he says you got to do already in a different way. So if you shift it a little bit, you can change your daily behavior and get very much more freedom out of it. For me, for instance, the breathing part was very clearing. Since we breathe all day, we all do, I hope, and there's different ways of breathing, and you can breathe the way you do normally, and then you use not all your air in your lungs, because you just use a little bit. But if you breathe really conscious and you breathe deep, there's a transformation. And if you do this, well, throughout the day or multiple times a day, very conscious, things really change. And it's really easy to do because you're breathing all day. So if you just do it in a different way, you're immediately experiencing success with it. And for me, it was one of the first things that brought me a breakthrough was by breathing and smiling. And it got me really far in also my body, where things started to change, because you're just not getting more air, but it's opening up your chest. It gets you a lot of more happiness in. And well, I have a scar that has been changed because of the breathing, and it was not healing quite good. So for 4 years, this scar was really like it's been for 3 months or so. So it was not healing. And because of the breathing and smiling that we did, this scar started to heal. And it's not really gone right now, but it's 70% less than it was. And just by a simple technique that Brian taught us, your cells are changing, and it's not the body that's changing, it's the energy that's changing. And since everything's energy, your body changes, your emotions change, and everything's starting to shift, and it's like a kind of a vortex starting to turn and change, and it's getting through all layers. And so you're just kind of having a tool to renew yourself. So a lot of things that made sense first in my head now make sense in my life, because if you can apply them in the right way, you can really shift things, and not just things just for you, but also for the people around you, because everyone around just like a mirror to you. They're projecting things that you're sending out. It's like giving and receiving. So if you experience some difficulties with people around you, this is just a projection of what you're projecting to them, but you're not aware of. So if you dissolve these difficulties within you with very easy techniques that Brian can teach you, people around you are changing with you, because they don't have to project these difficulties for you anymore. So, yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing, and if you really looking for getting more out of your life, getting more like living, not by I want to say this in Dutch, but no one would understand. We call it overleven. It's like if you're really in a problem where you just want to keep on doing things that's supposed to look like living, but it's not. You're just breathing and getting your body to work the way it should, but it's not really living. Living is abundance. It's free. It's happiness. It's joy. It's peace. And most of those things are not regularly daily based stuff for us. So if you jump in that area and you get a kind of a small touch of it, and well, it's very addicting. So if you have this taste and you know what it's like, then it's not so difficult if you're in the program to just do for about an hour or hour and a half a week some of the stuff that Brian tells you, and you get more freedom out of it, you get more health out of it, you get more energy out of it, you get everything you really want, you can get, because it's not that it's not there. It's always there. It's just your blockage that's not showing you that it's there. And if you could open up the curtains and see that it's there, and you can grasp it, and you can apply the tools that Brian provides you, you get it, and it's never going to leave you again. Because if you just can relate to it, if you just can feel it, then, well, it's yours. And I was in the beginning always talking about how I was not connected in some states, and well, that's also something Brian put out very clearly. You're always connected, because if there's no connection, you cannot live. It's just like your battery or your plug-in, and if it's not there, then you're not existing. So you're always connected, and for me that was such a comforting thing to know that I'm always connected. So if you feel disconnected, it's not that you're not connected to anything, it's just that your connection is interrupted by your mind, because your mind lets you believe that there's no connection. We're all connected, and the beautiful part of this connection is that what you see in this group, in the Conscious Creators, is that when you get to start with people that have the same intention, have the same way they want to live their lives, they want to tribute to the world, they want to do something good for themselves and for others, you find this connection with the people who are in that program, who are in that group. And it's a very, very warm connection. It's like family, or even more. And I'm not that fond of being on social media all the time, but with this Google Plus community, I check every day. It's I just want to know if someone's in difficulties, or in a breakthrough, or whatever. And it's just what others said. We're supporting each other, and I think that's really important, to feel that connection really on all levels. So for me, here's a message to you. You have something in your life that's not really okay, and you want it to be better, give it a try. It's not that difficult to get in, and Brian really provides for you with value. And so if you have any doubts, I guess all of it would not mind to answer any questions. And if you're not sure if you want to do this by level 5 because they're the community thing, and then I think it's okay if you just see for us if we could answer a question and you get a straight answer without something behind. Because we all know what it is, and we all know that if, well, someone is providing great information and stuff, that there's always this fear of being a catch at it, and it's definitely not. It's all for the best, and we all benefit so much from it. So I wish that for you too. So if you see this, grasp the link and watch those free videos and see for yourself if it's for you, because I think your life can be better than it is right now. So thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Erica. I forgot to mention before you came on, I would call Erica's like the great encourager of the group. She comments on just about every post, encourages people. I know that she's had long conversations with people outside of the sessions, and just talking to people. I mean, I'm honored to be in your presence, and even if we haven't personally talked, I know I've witnessed what you've done with other people, and it's been awesome. I mean, it's great to know that if somebody needed to reach out to somebody, Erica seems to always be there for everybody in the group. It's been awesome. So I didn't really, I didn't talk about myself. I'm one of the other few who didn't meet Brian at Hush Hush. I met Brian through a friend who was at Hush Hush, and he brought Brian on one of his Hangouts. And I hadn't heard of Brian. I didn't know who he was. I hadn't seen him before, knew nothing about him. All I knew was a friend said, hey, I got this special guest on my Hangout. You don't want to miss this. So I'm like, all right, I'll come. So I go to the Hangout, and there's Brian, and I witnessed live a spell break. And somebody was just on the Hangout. It wasn't anything that was pre-rehearsed. You could tell it wasn't. And I'm like, holy mackerel, what did I just witness here? And I'm like, this guy's got something. There's something about him. There's something different about him, and I think he was just getting ready to start this program, and I was like, do I want to do this or not? And I think last minute I signed up. I got involved in the sessions, and Brian says, oh yeah, you're going to get 12-week, 1-hour sessions. I don't think he definitely over delivers. He over delivers. I don't know if he's ever had an hour session, maybe once. They usually go a lot longer than an hour, sometimes 2 hours, and I know that he does bonus sessions on top of it. So you can ask anybody that's here. I think they're going to tell you they got more than their money's worth out of this. I think what Brian has given us, the tools that he's given us, are something that we can carry with us for the rest of our lives. And I think just the confidence that you're going to get knowing that you have those tools available. You may not need them right now, but you're going to have situations that are going to come up in your life, and you're going to need these tools, and you're going to have them at your disposal. And I feel that there's not anything that could come into my life that I couldn't overcome with these tools that Brian has given all of us. Very, very simple stuff. I mean, nothing like earth-shattering or, very, very easy to use, basic, simple stuff that, like, I forget who mentioned it. There's really, you don't have homework, although you're encouraged to practice the tools that you learn, but we show up for our sessions, and that's it. You go on your way, and you can put into practice what you've learned. One of the things I did this past weekend that Brian encouraged all of us to do was to do a little marathon. So sometimes I don't make the live, so I'll watch the replay, but what I did was I watched the last 3 past Saturday, and I was amazed. I don't know if anybody else here has done this, but I was amazed. Even though I had seen them all before, some of them I think more than once, it seems like every time you watch them, you learn something new, or you hear something you didn't hear before, or maybe you just grown a little bit and now you can comprehend things a little better. Just having those replays available to you is just, especially the last 3, it seems like every week gets a little bit better and better. And even though you think this last session was phenomenal, you come back the next week and it's even better than the last one. It's man, I don't know. There's so much I could say. I want to say this. I'm just, the energy that I gained listening to everybody speak here. I mean, I'm just like, I'm bubbling over with energy right now from from the people in this room, which it's kind of like a mini session without Brian in the room, but just hearing everybody else talk and listening to their experiences in this program. It's been unbelievable. I don't know how you can even put into words what we've all witnessed. We've witnessed transformations of people. We all have it within us, but I think everybody kind of mentioned we get blockages along the way as we're going through life. Things block us from what our true purpose is. And you don't even realize it sometimes that you have these blockages. And then you hear somebody's story that you relate to, and you're like, oh my God, I had that exact same thing happen to me. Or you relate to something, and it's like, wow, you have an aha moment right there. Even though you may come into a session, you may not have any issues or problems at the moment, but you may realize there was something that happened in your past life that was blocking you, and you get the tools to enable you to get through that blockage that you may not even know even existed. So there's so much. I mean, I've gained more than I was expecting to get out of this program. I've made some great friends along the way. I mean, everybody here is really awesome. This is just a small representation, but I don't think there's any reason why, if you're watching this, you've stayed on this long. We're going into an hour and a half here. If you stayed on this long and watched all these and you haven't made the decision to get involved with this program, you're probably going to get involved. But one thing I'm going to strongly, strongly encourage you to do, because you are going to get involved, get onto the live session. All right. I know there's been a couple weeks where I'm like, I see there's openings. I show up late and there's still open. Do I want to go on the live session? But you get so much more out of being on live, even if Brian doesn't call on you. And there's always that chance that Brian's going to call on you. So you never know. He just has a way of he can look down at the people in the room and he can see that there's something going on with somebody, and he'll call them out, and you'll watch a transformation live right in front of you. It's just I think being in the room, you gain a lot more than watching a replay or watching it live on YouTube while it's going on. Being in the room, I'm going to strongly encourage you to get involved in the program and get on those live, or as many live sessions as you can. Like I said, he every 3 weeks he rotates the time so everybody can get an opportunity to jump in, because sometimes Brian's in Hawaii, so his time zone's a little different than most of us. Most of us don't have the privilege of living in Hawaii. So sometimes the times will be, you may be at work, or it could be at 3 a.m. for you, but he's always moving around, so people have the opportunity to get involved. If you can get on the live session, you definitely want to get on the live session. There's just so much that you're going to gain from this program. And if you could just, I wish we had like before pictures of everybody's on this panel, and you saw them when they first started, and you look at them, everybody, I mean, everybody's smiling and happy, and when people came on some of these early sessions, I mean, they had these big frowns, and you could see their face was all tense, and their forehead was tense, and their eyes were squinty, and now everybody's transformed, really, in 90 days, really. 90 days has been a complete transformation of a lot of lives. So we're all here. This is something that just came to me. It's not anything I planned. It's not anything that Brian asked us to do. He took a week off, and it just came to me. I woke up in the morning and I said, I'm gonna try to get as many people as I can just to share their experience with the program so we can help grow this, because I think everybody needs this. You may not realize it, but I think everybody needs. I mean, Yurick, I think, was probably the most skeptical of the group here. He didn't think he needed it. I think everybody needs this. The tools that you're going to gain from this program are going to enable you to conquer any obstacle, or maybe you can help somebody else that's having a challenge in their life with the tools that you learn here. I mean, I mentioned, I think before one of the last two sessions, that Brian called me out before we went live and asked me a few questions, and what I notice is I don't worry about anything anymore. I know that everything happens for a reason. I may not know why, but things happen for a reason. Even though they may not be a pleasant experience, it's happening for a reason. And I don't worry about it. All right, that happened. I'm going to move on and continue going in the direction that I need to go in. And with the tools that Brian has given all of us, you can conquer anything, I think. We're all empowered to pursue what our purpose is now. We all have released all these blockages that we've had, and we're able to be clearer in why we're here and what it is that we're here to do. So, I mean, we could all, I don't know if anybody wants any departing words before we end this hangout. Everybody in, I know that this was not planned, and it's tough to pick where it can get here. Jumping in and joining today, because it's been awesome. I mean, this is almost like another session with Brian. It's just listen to everybody talk, their transformations. So if anybody wants to add any departing words before we end this, please jump in.
Hey, Chris, I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you for putting it together, and thank you for everyone that showed up. Because I think it was a perfect panel of people. It was just so awesome. Although we heard some, stories on the sessions, it's just hear that repeated and the transformation and the different ways that people interpret it. So it's just been, like you said, it feels like it was another session again today. Just feeling renewed. I just feel more energetic and renewed just hearing this today. So I want to say thank you very much for putting this together today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. This has been great. Maybe we'll have to do this again. We'll have our little side sessions without Brian and just share experiences. This has been awesome. So thank you, everybody. See you next week. Take care.